I'll try to move through the video reasonably quick if I can, not to make it too long. The 10-year government yields here, we're looking at wave 4 with this is a weekly chart for a move, take out the top here and move higher. Sometimes when the length of wave 3 is the longest, then wave 1 and wave 5 can be roughly the same. Take that with a pinch of salt. If I go to the 2-year yields, you'll see them actually trading higher, of course. I haven't got it labeled, but they're taken out the top here already, so that's a good indication that the 10 years and the 30 years will plod along, and we've always had them to move higher. So that's the yields. If we move over to the dollar, what I wanted to do today was just to have a look at the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar's got 5 waves to the upside here, and it's pulling back. And the US dollar is doing the reverse of this, of course. So the Australian dollar has just about pulled down to its, it still needs to make one more little low here. I'm not going to go into the intraday area here, but basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come down here as an ABC pattern. So it's nearly there. Now the euro is lagging a little bit in what it needs to do here. So I sort of pondered the idea that, well, first of all, I'll just let it excuse me, move down to that point. But if I take it in consideration of what's going on in the Australian dollar, then I would look for a low over here. We know the DAX is holding up really quite well in all of this, so it's probably something of this nature here, but we'll work through that when we get the impulse wave there. Just wanted to compare really against the US dollar that hasn't risen very much at all after its 5 waves down. So sometimes, you know, the wave B, it can pull back 40%, 50%, 60%, 80%. It can pretty much do whatever it needs to do, and so we just need to be a bit open and flexible to that, and its different degrees. Now, if the Australian dollar is just about bottoming with one more move to the upside, then we could say that we'll get one more move coming in here. Now, this hasn't, you know, it started off strong and then started to, you know, it's been slowing down as it goes. So it's quite possible that we just get one more little high here and that's it. And we've got wave 4 overlapping wave 1 here. So we could take it higher. We could even, you know, we could look at, I thought we may be able to look at this as 1 and 2 in here, like 1 and 2, 1 and 2, but it's just not moving, you know, and the Australian dollar is nearly sort of completed its structure. So we could look at it with an A wave over here and a B wave pulling back over here. That's quite possible. There's some other markets in reverse that we could be looking at like this as well. So that's a possibility that I'm working through. But the first thing, we've got to take one step at a time. And if we do get one more move here, we'll watch the turn here. So we'll just go to the intraday on this as we usually do. So we've got our A wave and our B wave here, and then we've counted up for wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yes, we've got the overlap there. And then we've been looking for, after this A, B, C here, we're looking for a move to the upside. It's moving nicely. Everything's going according to plan. This is the length of wave 3. And because of that overlap there, it's quite probable we can't have wave 3 as the shortest, right? So currently wave 1, the extension's in wave 1, and the wave 3 smaller. So technically this one here should be smaller still. We should just sort of, you know, get 5 waves or nip in the top there, and we'll watch this move here very carefully to see if we get 5 waves here. But any move down here, then we're going to see stronger commodities, you know. We've also got to count for the S&P 500. That also has a possible low in place, but I can't confirm that until I get an impulse wave. This is the S&P here with wave 1 up here and ABC down here for wave 2. You're probably aware of this. We're looking first of all to get 5 waves. So we could call the low in here like an idiot, you know, but we need to confirm it as an impulse wave. And I don't have the impulse wave there just yet. It's 2/3 of the way there, but it could also be an ABC pattern to the upside as yet as well. So there's a variation on this. So we just need to, it's possible to have a low in place. If that is a low in place, then we're going to have a top in place here with this, and we're going to be coming down further. So that's going to be interesting for commodities. It's going to give commodities a leg to the upside, and we're seeing that in gold, where we're seeing gold at the moment hasn't quite pulled down to its 50-60%, but we've been counting it down as an A and a B and a C, and that seems to work okay. I also know too that we can also like the US dollar, because remember they both turned on the 2nd of February roughly, and we can also look at it like this as well. We're seeing if we get an impulse wave here. It does appear to be the case, so we should be going higher up at this point. So everything's going according to plan. This is the daily chart. We can drill in here and have a look at a couple of different counts and look at different things. So we were looking at the A, the B, and the C here, looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we call the low in here. We've just been monitoring this to the upside, but we'll go onto a smaller view. So we could have the low in place here, but we may just go to a B wave and come down. You know, like we need a little bit more evidence, but it doesn't stop us from going long or short or talking about other particular patterns in the market as such. This is the pattern where from the top we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have the A wave here, have this as an ABC pattern here, and move up to here and then move down at this point. We covered this in the Australian video, so there we've been looking at entry points for gold, so I won't go into it too much here for this, but our entry point we brought down to this point here on the Australian video this morning for a couple of reasons. That Minky, my doggy, is watching YouTube videos on the doggy station, of course. Let me just get some more detail in here. So we counted up, started counting up from the low here of 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, and 5, and then an A and a B and a C wave to here. We could put the C wave here and have this as an ABC here for the A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and that's why we look to go long above this one here, because it would be, if we accommodate all the counts, the strategy would be at the end of the day to be long at this particular point here. So that means we can drag this over in a couple of different ways. But the worst case scenario, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So the worst case is we'd come down here a little bit further and then move off at that point. Sorry, Mink, I just got to put that on pause, mate, just for a bit. So that's gold. Silver is much the same on this low. Now I can count this down in different ways, so don't start throwing stuff at me. We'll just watch to see how it progresses off the low here for this as well. We're not quite ready with that one just yet, but this is impulsive, so we should be getting another little move up through there. I mean, if you're going for the longer haul with all of this, if we get this as 1 and 2 here, which we can have, we could just have it here as an ABC and then collapse here. But if we get a larger 5 waves here, well then we'll probably hit the top here, and then we're going to come back 50% here. So that will be on those basis of that 5 waves. We can move in on that 50, 60, well 40, 50, 60% retracement level at that point to move up, and we can build in over that side. But you can build in now if you wish, if it's your thing. Rightio. So I won't go to the energy just yet. We want to go to the base metals, green metals, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to start with copper and just move that out of the way. So with copper here, this is the copper futures COMEX. So we're looking at wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going up for wave 5. At the same time, we can also look at this as an A and a B and a C. I do believe it's, well, my bias is more to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. And this would be 1, 2, and 3. So if we scour down through, well, we've been looking at this particular market here. It's got the same count. This is Freeport. So we could put wave 4 in here and just observe that to move. It does look a little bit impulsive down here, but then I had a second look here and I could see that we could probably put wave 5 over to here and look at this as an A, B, and C over here for this. But that said, when we look at, of course, we've got iron ore in some of these other ones here. I'll just check on Vale. Vale's a bit deeper in here. Let me just check around. What's that? It's not going to be helpful. I'm just looking for answers, basically. We could make a new high. We could fall back on that. It's not really giving me a thing. Okay, if Rio makes the top here, that's pretty healthy. So even though the Rio's doing iron ore, got a bit of copper there. What else we got here? This one Southern Copper here. We could count 5 waves up here, but I can count this differently as well and go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. Or I could even put wave 1 up here. There's a few different things I could do with that, but it's not helpful for solving anything at the moment that I'm looking for. This is a little bit better. This is pulled back to the 38.2% here. So this reminds me of BHP and FMG and those sort of Australian stocks. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 here and going up for 5, and it's like it's pulled down deep enough. It's like it's done its business, and it's it can move on from that point. So anyway, if that US dollar turns, then all of these are going to be popping up. We're seeing that happen already with with Australian stocks pushing up here, and Rio doing the same thing, and FMG and all of those. So we're pretty much on the right track with our thinking there. Coming over to nickel. Now with nickel here, I haven't really been able to solve this riddle here. I understand that we could look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 1 here, and ABC for wave 2 here, and then move up. Now this will depend on the dollar turning as such, and I think the other way to look at it is the ABC for the A wave and ABC for the B wave here. I could also look at it down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and so on. But I think that when I have a look at Russian nickel here, which is the biggest in the world, as far as I know, but it's got an impulse wave off the low here, and we're looking for it to correct. And then we look at China coming into play here. I'll just clean my mess up here, but I've been talking it up here, and it's behaving itself, so that's good. But we had that very clear impulse wave off here, Then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and getting this little 4th and 5th here. But it's just it's now we'll have to look at it as probably 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 going into a third wave. There is another little one in there, but it doesn't really matter. We've got 5 here. We're going to get 5 over here. So I don't know the currency cross what situation at the moment with this, but all I can say, I've got 5 here in the opposite direction of the trend, so we're going up. So then we come to one of our favourite Australian stocks, the IGO here, and we've got this A wave, B wave, and we've got this C wave here, and I know that you've got to be a little bit careful getting tops and bottoms. They don't finish off the way that you would like them to. So I've been trying to find ways to sort of to look at this as possibly being in place here. Because if IGO is going to go, then Rio and FMG and all of that mob, all the Australian mob, is going. And if the dollar's going to turn, because the dollar looks pretty weak at the moment, fundamental people are scratching their head why it's going up, so, but I can see that the dollar is going up, but I could also see that it's hit a weak spot now. Do you know what I mean? It's running out of steam here now, so it's not probably going to, top down like the way we would expect it to, but I think the market's, is the best economist, and it's already sniffing the situation out. So I could tighten up the 5 waves here, but I'm going to give this a little while, because if that is an impulse wave there, I don't think it's finished. I think there's a little bit more to go here, and then we'll look at the pullback, and then we'll look for our setup. So we need that ABC setup because it's part of managing our exposure in all of this, and that's just that. So yeah, so look, it's possible. We're just looking for that turn, in nickel and most of the other commodities, and the same with in lithium at the moment. This is a Chinese Shenzhen lithium stock that's got business in Australia, and I think it's even doing business with IGO. I'm not quite sure, but I can't remember. I think it was something like that. Thought I had it here somewhere. doesn't matter too much. But as I said this morning and over this week and so on, is that I know that a lot of these little stocks here are bouncing up and down, and like LTR's up at 9% today. So, and I know that some are bouncing high and some are dropping low, and they're all over the place. I don't think that I can go off those. This is a $149 billion company, so it's the biggest size of them all, and they've got interest in Australia, so these are the main dogs. So this particular move here, I just needed to make a low below here, and I know it's going to be tough for it because it's sitting on such a big number, so it's very difficult for traders to work around that. But here, we could look at this as 1 and 2, or the whole thing as 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So it's the third wave here. So I still need 2, 4, 5s here. I still need a couple of lows in here for lithium. It's just not there yet in all of this. So, but once this comes into place, and once we can confirm the turn on the dollar, then all of these US and Aussie ones here, they will all come alive in that in due course. So so just not there yet for this. So but close. So I won't go into all of these and pull them apart, but you might be lucky, and you might get something that pops up like this, but that could also pull back as well. So we need this to come down just a little bit further to get our timing right on everything, and we'll do it from that point. Alrighty. So okay, we got through that video a little bit quicker at 16-17 minutes, better than 40. So I hope it wasn't too quick. I don't mind doing long videos, sort of just chatting and shooting the breeze, but they become sort of webinars and people just want information, so I'll try to do them a bit quicker. But give me some feedback on that. So I don't mind taking more time and diving into things. So okay, alrighty, cheers.